Hello, everybody. I was on a podcast recently, and the interviewer asked some excellent questions. But one of the questions that we were kind of digging into was the sustainability of our economic model, specifically the hourly yields of CNR. And Centric Rise CNR, as you know, and if you're new to the program, please hit the subscribe button. Basically, Centric Rise CNR is our in-network token and the flagship of the Centric Network. And it's not intended to be traded, but it is intended to work exactly as designed and produce more CNS every single hour. So that's what CNR yields. It yields more CNS. And right now, we're in the adoption phase of Centric, and users of the network are enjoying very strong yields. I mean, we're in double-digit yield rate months right now, but very high yield rates. And the interviewer in the podcast was asking, is this sustainable? Is this going to last forever, the hourly yields? And what I did was I brought it back to the two items that are also happening on an hourly basis. One is the yields of CNR. CNR is yielding more CNS every single hour. And then there's also an hourly burn. And what I explained is that during the adoption phase, people are coming into the network. They see this unique protocol that has a very strong APY, and it's one of those items that's attracting people to Centric, is the fact that CNR has these really strong yields. And the other side of it is the burn. But I want to get to the yields first, and this is something that attracts a lot of people, is the fact that the yield rates of Centric Rise CNR are written to immutable price blocks. And what is that? Basically, the team gets together and they calculate the rate of Centric Rise CNR. They hard code it to the blockchain where it cannot be changed. And once it's put in place, once it's deployed and published, it's never going to be changed. And so that attracts people into the network because they want to take advantage of those yields. The one thing I explained to this gentleman who was interviewing me is, and his question was really spot on, was what is going to happen in the future? And we kind of go about a year at a time at Centric, and when price blocks are written and then hard coded to the chain, they're set on the chain about a year in advance. We already know what the price of CNR is this time next year because of these immutable price blocks that are not going to be edited or changed. But what's going to happen after the adoption phase, after CNS is a household name, after CNR is a household name, and CNS stabilizes at $1, the hourly burn, which balances the protocol, and the hourly yield of CNR are going to both slow down, way down. Will CNR always be yielding? Yes. Will the protocol always be burning off a certain portion of the CNR that's sitting in quarantine? Yes, thereby balancing the network every single hour. And one of the questions that comes up periodically, and it didn't come up from this particular interview, but won't CNR just burn away completely down to zero? No, of course not. Because what's going to happen is the growth and the burn, they have a balance. They strike a really strong balance there, and what's going to happen is it's going to slow way down. And right now, we've got really high yield rates. We're double-digit yield rates. And what's going to happen is it's going to slow way down when CNS stabilizes at $1 to 4% annum, or around 4% a year. And so the yield will slow way down once we enter that next phase of Centric, which we call the sustainable phase or the stability phase. In the white paper, it's referenced as sustainable phase. And in the basics page, centric.com/basics, it's referenced as the stability phase. But that's basically the second chapter or second phase of Centric. Right now, we're in adoption. But once CNS stabilizes at $1, we're going to enter that new phase. And then we'll be moving toward the utility phase where we get lots of integration. The great thing about Centric is we're not waiting to move into these other phases. We're gaining adoption now. We're gaining access to crypto payment gateways, so where companies can integrate with CNS now. And we have a number of companies that are already doing that. But the great thing is for the investors, this is a great time to be looking at Centric, because during the adoption phase, you have these really high yield rates where you're generating more CNS every single hour. And the network is working as designed. It's balancing itself every hour. And just understand that once we hit the adoption phase, things are going to slow way down on the growth front. And with that, I want to wrap it up. But don't forget to stay connected with us across social media. We're really active on Telegram and Twitter. Always remember, Centric is burning tokens every single hour until CNS reaches $1, and we're on our way there. And that was truly the purpose of this video today. But stay connected with us, and all the best. Take care, and we'll talk again.